To Arkansas, led by their backcourt, Kareem Reed and Pat Bradley. Missouri, Jason Sutherland led the Bighorns in the second.
Beautiful basketball by the Toronto Raptors.
The following is a special live presentation of Empire Sports Network.
And good evening from Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo, New York. Big Four basketball continues on the Empire Sports Network tonight. The University at Buffalo Bulls will take on the Syracuse University Orangemen. Hi, I'm Howard Simon, and welcome to the Marine Midland Arena. We will have UB and Syracuse a little bit later than expected. We had a preliminary game here tonight. The UB women, the Royals, beating Central Connecticut State 82-50, and we'll talk with UB coach Sal Biscaglia in just a moment. But that's delayed a little bit. The start of the men's game between Syracuse and UB, we're looking at a tip maybe around 20 after. So we'll talk a little hoops here courtside, and we're joined by Bob McKinnon Sr. Now, fans of Western New York basketball, remember Bob?
Anymore. As a matter of fact, the luge has emerged from the underground as a very serious street sport.
The championship game. This year's squad is very inexperienced, so seniors Otis Hill and Jason Cipolla will carry a heavy load. Experience is the main reason the UB Bulls have won 3 straight. Down the stretch, the Bulls have hit the big shot to win 2 games. Just looking for it. He's got it. He's going to shoot it.
Live from the Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo, New York, it's the Syracuse Orangemen and the UB Bulls. Hello, I'm Howard Simon, and you can imagine, I think you know I'm standing by the Syracuse band courtside here at the arena. Syracuse and UB coming up tonight, their first meeting since the 77-78 season. The series has been dominated by the SU Orangemen. They hold an all-time series lead over UB at 24-5. In fact, that last meeting was a blowout. And there you see it. The Orangemen have won 15 straight games, and the last UB win back in the 62-63 season. But hey, the Bulls are on a roll. They're pulling out last-second victories. There's a team of destiny so far early this season. We'll see if they can pull up another upset here tonight. The gentlemen who will be calling the game tonight between Syracuse and Buffalo are Jim Brinson and Jim Sattlet. Guys?
All right, Howard, thank you very much. Well, this is going to be a noisy place this evening. The excitement of college basketball, and of course, Syracuse in town to go against a UB Bulls team, Jimmy, that has not lost since they've been playing at Marine Midland Arena. Right now, let's talk about the Syracuse Orangemen. You take a look at their record. Right now, 3-3, and they are winless in the Big East.
Well, it's 2 teams going in opposite directions right now. Syracuse really struggling lately with their last 2, West Virginia loss and a Miami loss on Saturday night. But this is still a good basketball team, Jim. They've got experienced players coming back from last year in Bergen, Hill, and Cipolla. Those guys have to step up.
All right, and of course, you already mentioned Hill. It is Otis Hill. He is the big guy down low on the block, and we expect to see the ball go into him a lot tonight.
It better go into him a lot. I mean, he's a very good basketball player, but he's really a center. They've been playing him, trying to mix him forward, and he's really not comfortable outside far from the basket. He gets inside the box. He's a handle for anybody to get involved with.
All right, now for University of Buffalo, this is a club that started the season at 0-2. Now they are 3-2. They have won 3 straight games. Here is their current record, and they have been on a tear, and they have done it, of course, with some last-second buzzer-beating shots, and it's been spectacular for Bulls fans.
Well, the gods are on their side, too, Jim. There's no question. You go one Saturday, they make a 3 from over there right next to the bench. Then they make a 3 from right here to win 2 big games. So, you know, but you got to put yourself into a position to win those games, too. And that's what University of Buffalo has done. They've done a great job at the end of the game. Nobody better than Rasan Young, who's a terrific basketball player.
He really is. Rasan Young has been the guy who is their leading scorer, and he also hit the big shot just last Saturday to give them the W.
Well, when he takes it from coast to coast to beat Bonaventure on the buzzer, you think of Rasan Young more as a slasher, a post-up type player. He's also shown us that he can make the 3 from the outside. I really like him, and I like this University of Buffalo team. They're coming up in class a little bit tonight, going against Syracuse, but it should be very interesting.
It's going to be a noisy atmosphere here at the Marine Midland Arena, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait for the action to begin. Howard, back to you.
Shouldn't these people be back in Syracuse studying for finals? Anyway, UB has beaten a Big East team just once in the history of basketball. That was Rutgers a couple of years ago. We'll see if they can pull off win number 2 against Syracuse tonight. UB and Syracuse coming up, Big Four basketball on the Empire Sports Network.
Big
For Basketball on Empire is sponsored by M&T Bank, all the bank you'll ever need. The Buffalo Renaissance Foundation. Nice. Use your Nice ATM card wherever you see the Nice sign. And by Perry's Ice Cream, a tradition of quality.
University of Buffalo Bulls and the Syracuse Orangemen coming up. The UB Bulls are the team on the high, coming off wins over Niagara, Canisius, and also St. Bonaventure. Syracuse is going in the other direction, coming off of losses to West Virginia and Miami. But Syracuse is the favorite. UB the much smaller team. We'll see how that figures in the matchup tonight. The big Syracuse front line against the smaller UB Bulls. Or will emotion and a team riding a high be able to pull off an upset? Let's send it back to the guys who will call the game, Jim Brinson and Jim Sattler.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're here at courtside, and we're really looking forward to this. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. But there was some question tonight, Jimmy, if indeed Todd Bergen was going to be in a Syracuse Orangeman jersey tonight.
And they just made a decision, I think, previous to game here, that there's a suspension appeal going on at Syracuse University over an incident, a campus incident, and I guess Todd Bergen is suited up and he's going to play, so we'll see a premier player certainly tonight.
Yeah, he will indeed, however, have a new number. Right now, let's go for the introductions. Here's the public address announcer, Tom Shue.
Syracuse. First at forward, a 6'7" junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 24, Todd Bergen. At the other forward, a 6'9" freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Eton Thomas, wearing number 33. At center, a 6'8" senior from White Plains, New York, number 4, Otis Hill. Starting at guard, a 6'2" freshman from Los Angeles, California, wearing number 5, Jason Hart. And starting at the other guard, a 6'7" senior from Queens, New York, number 35, Jason Cipolla. The Orangemen are coached by Jim Boeheim in his 21st season. His assistants are Bernie Fine, Louis Orr, and Mike Hopkins. And now, Buffalo basketball fans, let's get ready to rumble! The starting lineup for your 1996-97 UB Bulls. Starting at forward, a 6'3" junior from New Rochelle, New York, number 11, Russon Young. At the other forward, a 6'9" junior from O'Fallon, Illinois, number 43, Nathan Johnson. Starting at center, a 6'11" senior from Burundi, Africa, number 50, Leonard Kangishaka. At the guard, a 6'4" junior from Cleveland, Ohio, number 42, Matt Clemens. And at the other guard, a 5'11" junior from Rahway, New Jersey, number 32, Mike Martino. In his 4th year, Tim Cohane. His assistants are Frank Maleni, Ron Torgalski, and Tim Maloney. The officials for tonight's game are Gene Manji,
Of the players and, of course, the coaches. Let's start first, Jimmy. Your thoughts, Jim Boeheim, coming into tonight's game, coming off that loss at Miami.
Well, this is a very, very big game for Jim Boeheim. 2 weeks ago, it wasn't such a big game. I think they thought they'd walk in here and just dance a little bit and get a win and go home. But now, all of a sudden, it's taken on some monumentous proportions here for this team. They need a win badly.
And, of course, for the UB Bulls and Tim Cohane, he's got the wagon rolling in the right direction.
Well, he really does. And you know what I admire about him is that he's shaking up his lineup. You know, I mean, he's had some great wins and everything, and now all of a sudden he's sitting a couple guys. He sits Robert Harris down, who's been playing very well for him, to bring him off the bench. A lot of psychology involved in that, because these young players all like to start.
Special presentation being made right now at center court. And then we'll get ready with the opening tap in tonight's game.
You know, interestingly enough, when we look at this game, too.
Joining Mr. Townsend, center.
Hockey Syracuse, and the rapids are really rough. It's the perfect time. I've got to do it. I've got to try it.
Okay. I'll try anything once. I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Okay.
Come in.
You go first.
To start on the bench, and that Nate Johnson and Scott McMillan were going to step up. And you talked about UB going big tonight to begin with, and that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup, at least for the first couple of minutes.
When you get your life jacket on, make sure all three buckles are buckled up and it's on snuff. It's not uncommon at all for people to fall out of the boat on this trip. It happens almost every single day.
Been in a tough spot.
This is one of the easier places right here between these two big guys.
He's the Capital correspondent at CNN, and Wolf is, he's been in the middle of some big ones before. He has.
We've seen him at the Desert Storm.
Oh, everywhere.
We've seen him everywhere, that's right. UB graduate.
Wolf out of Kenmore. And a 1970 UB graduate. Maybe he wouldn't want us to say that. He probably wants to hide his age.
Nah.
You don't know. All right, here's what the starting lineups look like now as we are only a moment away from the opening tap. Bergen is indeed going to play. Thomas, Hill, Hart, Sapolo. Then it's Clements, Johnson, Tangashaka, Martino, and Young. This one's ready to tip, and we are underway, and the Bulls will control it first. Whistle away from the ball.
Well, I think this is something that Jim Boeheim obviously is right now. He's right on the referees immediately on the first call. So Jim Boeheim into this game along with his players, but you know he's probably got his team so psyched up about playing and playing aggressively, as you see Boeheim on the side, that they're going to come out. They've got to watch themselves. They're not too emotional.
Well, the foul was on Hart as he was matched up against Martino. And they follow Martino around. He tries to spot up quickly. The pass goes down low on the block. This is Young trying to back in. Tangashaka is going to take the first shot and gets it.
Well, we haven't seen him do that. We've seen him block some shots the last couple of weeks, but we've never seen him come out and make the 15-foot jump shot.
And Syracuse now with their first offensive possession.
UB, of course, plays straight man-to-man, which is up Syracuse's alley at this point.
Ball loose after the off-balance shot, and the Bulls trying to run. Young thought about the three and then backed off.
Both teams in a solid man-to-man, a lot of pressure.
Nate Johnson, who gets the start tonight, had a very nice second-half performance in the previous game. Off-balance one, Hender gets the roll and dropped in by Clements.
Well, the start that UB wanted, they've gotten. Jim Boeheim looking and saying, we've played 2-3 zone all year long. Now we're going to man-to-man to get some more aggressiveness, and they score the first two trips down.
On the block, Syracuse. Spin move, Thomas around and down.
And he had to work for that one, too, though. Tangashaka makes him work hard on the inside move. Good move by the freshman, though, Etan Thomas.
Again, Martino in front court.
Martino will get an awful lot of pressure by Jason Hart and whoever else is going to come in to play him. The scouting report is certainly there.
Young moving down the center of the lane, off-balance one-hander, got it back, tried to force it up, lost it, and we have the jump ball call and the alternate possession arrow now in favor of the Orangemen. One heavy traffic down there.
Yep, and one thing about Rasan Young, who took it in that time and got a jump ball out of it, but one thing about him is he won't stop taking it to the basket. He'll take it right in amongst the trees.
Momentary stoppage of play here while we get Bergen and his shoe tied.
If we can get Bergen one time with a shot of his jersey, he's got Donovan McNabb basketball jersey on the back of it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's good or bad right now.
All right, finds the goal. Down low, they go on the block. Spin move with a shot count. No, they're going to wave it off as that was Hill working down low, and that's what you talked about in our pregame remarks about how effective he's going to have to be for the Orange men down on the block in this game.
Well, that's his game right down there, Jim. He's strong around the box. He's developed good offensive moves. He needs to stay in there. That's where he's going to be most effective.
Inbound play. Hart's got it. Fall away, way off balance. Air ball. Johnson controls for the Bulls. Clements in front court.
This will be a game as Young takes the tree.
Offensive rebound goes to Clements. Now Martino yet to get a shot off in this game. Young just got cleared out. Martino center of the lane. Off balance, won't go. Rebound comes out to the Orangemen near midcourt. And this is Bergen now controlling. Inside, quickly they go. Off balance one-hander, and right away Tangashaka picks up the foul as Etan Thomas was working down in the lane area, and this was something that we said was very important to the Bulls, how effective Tangashaka is.
Well, he's committed 2 personal fouls already in the first minute and a half here. And there's a definite foul. Grabs across Thomas's arm. Syracuse making a couple substitutions early for the 2 seniors. Hill and Zapolo go out. Rock Lloyd, a freshman out of New York City, comes in at the guard spot, as does Marius Janulis.
And Thomas can't get the first offering to drop.
Syracuse's game plan, obviously, to take the ball inside against the UB defense.
Thomas only a 40% free throw shooter. Second one he got.
Well, he went up 1 for 2. Raises his average a little bit. That's right.
Buffalo leads by a point. Early moments, first half play here at the arena. Martino tries to spring open, does, shoots the 3. Off balance, shot the air ball, went down hard, no whistle. This is Lloyd for the Orangemen. Backs in. Gives it back outside. Bergen nowhere to go. Now it's Hart trying to penetrate. Is cut off on the defensive pressure by Martino.
University of Buffalo is a very disciplined, solid defensive team.
Also a bigger team now that Lloyd is in there working against Clements as he got that offensive rebound. Again on the block. Turnaround. Tangashaka with a rejection. It'll be a goaltend.
Not a good play by Leonard Tangashaka. A good opportunity to put some pressure on him from a defensive standpoint, but the ball was certainly in its downward flight at this point. Nice offensive move, though, by Etan Thomas inside. Definite goaltend.
Also, one of the things they look for on a goaltend is how far away that defensive man is from the offensive player.
That's absolutely right.
And he was several feet.
Yep. He has struggled in the last couple times down the court here.
Young might as well take it all the way in and draw the foul. He did. You know what? I think he got into the open area, Jimmy. I think he thought it was going to close. It didn't close.
A little surprised, and all of a sudden took it right into the basket from there. But, you know, that's a good opportunity for Young. No foul, no shot on that. It was
Janulis got him.
Yep, got him before time. But he's going to have a big game for them if they have a chance tonight. Deshaun Young and Mike Martino both.
Tangashaka double teamed outside. Now they 3 Young, but he won't take it there. Here's the skip pass. Clements, good head and shoulder pump fake. Now lets it go. Short off the front of the iron. He goes and gets it and fires again. Got it.
Well, Matt Clements, Tim Cohen has been talking to UB coach Tim Cohen has been saying that he's lost his confidence. He was 1 for 11 against Niagara last week, and just a couple key free throws against Bonaventure near the end. But he's a very good shooter and a very good player. They need him tonight also.
Lloyd tried to pull the trigger, but Clements was right in his jersey. Now Martino picks up Hart, knocked away by Johnson. Right back, however, to Bergen, who lets the left-handed shot go. It won't go in. And Tangashaka rips it out of the air.
Just gets a good look, but Todd Bergen just can't get it to get down. You see the spread offense that UB's trying to make Syracuse really work hard on the defensive end.
Try to back pick for Martino. Trouble was Young, goes to Clements, makes his way in, pulls up, short jumper off the iron, and it's pulled down by Janulis quickly. Orangeman in the front court. Hart founds the open area and lets it go and drills it.
Jason Hart is one of the probably top 5 or 6 point guards, freshman point guards in the country. Very highly recruited player out of California. But, there was some question whether he was going to come to Syracuse to honor his commitment, but he's here, and he is a very, very good basketball player.
That'll be a walk on Tangashaka. And we'll go the other way, by the way, for Hart. That is his first basket of the evening. It's a good one so far, but 14:47 to play. First half, 1-point Orangeman lead over the Bulls at 7-6 here on the Empire Sports Network. Well, in the huddle, Jim Boeheim, after his team, literally challenging them to get it up and down the court and get the ball in the basket.
I think that's Syracuse's style. They'd like to push the ball up, get this game in the 80s, or 85.
42% to 33%. Kick back out. Giannoulis, penetrating move, had the open shot and passed it up. Instead, Lloyd shoots the three, too hard off the iron. Good block out as Robert Harris, who checked in during the timeout, gets the rebound.
Well, UB does all the little things well, and they're going to have to do those tonight. There's no question. But so far, they got to be very happy.
And Martino draws contact away from beyond Lloyd. Boeheim up off the bench again, complaining, saying, "What did he do?"
Well, you know that Jim Boeheim has got these guys at a fever pitch right now defensively, and they're running right through screens. The referees are on top of it. Gene Manji, Bob Adams, and Joe Vigna, Big East crew here.
Deep pass comes out to Martino, over to Clemens. Altus is also checked into the lineup, number 10 for Buffalo.
This goes back to the 2-3 zone on their out-of-bounds play.
Harris shut off on the baseline. Lost the ball. It's loose, still on the floor. Scramble for it. He's got it. They still fight for it. Now they whistle the jump ball. And it'll be alternate possession this time. The Bulls will have it, and they will maintain possession.
This is one of the few times that for Syracuse fans, they like to see this. There's no question. Hart goes and knocks somebody over, looks for the ball. Giannoulis on the floor. Syracuse has been lenient on doing those kind of things here in the last couple of weeks, and I think that's what frustrates Jim Boeheim. They don't have the John Wallaces and the type of individuals that are just going to dominate games the way they have in the past, and they need an effort from everybody here in order to be successful.
Wheeler and McMillan in the lineup now for Buffalo. Here's McMillan. Now Wheeler. Altus. And boy, he just comes out firing cold off the bench. That was McMillan. Stolen by Martino, and then stolen away by Giannoulis. Altus over the back of Hill. And that is a wide back.
Yeah, it really is. Alkus found himself in bad position behind Otis Hill. If you get caught back there, you're better off just letting him get the ball and get your hands up. Hope he doesn't score.
Inbounds play. Bergen through traffic, short arms it, rebound Harris. And Martino now will slow it down and get into front court on the dribble.
Todd Bergen really struggling on the offensive end right now.
Harris in underneath, in traffic, tie up. And I believe he stepped on the inline, so on the turnover, it'll be Syracuse basketball.
Yeah, UB, here we see the turnover. Nice pass by Wheeler on the inside.
Yeah, normally he's right there on the line.
He's already out of bounds, yep. Normally UB people would be taking this ball right to the basket. There's a little intimidation factor here still until they start to feel a little better about themselves, a little more comfortable on the court. Syracuse going with some different people already.
Tried the lob, Altus broke it up. Ahead to Wheeler. Tough-minded guard is Wheeler. This is McMillan. Wheeler not the outside shooter, however, more looking to penetrate and set the offense. Harris trying to post up down low. Martino. And a whistle foul again. It's away from the ball, Jim. A lot of rough stuff going on. Players banging on each other.
Yeah, they really are. And, you know, obviously, as we said, Jim Boeheim has really gotten his team ready to play this game, and he's challenged them. The referees are making some calls early as we see Bergen and Hart go out, Sapola and Sean Howard come in. Ramel Lloyd, Syracuse's freshman. We see Bergen there talking to Bernie Fine, assistant coach. Hart trapped in the double team.
Boy, it's an excellent trap. And do they come up with a steal? No, Altus has it and finally saves it with a skip pass.
Jim Boeheim's gone to his bench a lot more. Lloyd didn't even play the other night down in Miami, and Howard played only 1 or 2 minutes. So he certainly is giving these young players an opportunity to see what they can do here.
You know, you saw this zone last year work so effectively against some of the nation's best basketball teams, and it is just shut down. Buffalo right here. As McMillan, does he get bailed out? No, travel.
Well, at this point in time, UB's got it. They made a couple baskets early, but they've really struggled since then. And you mentioned that Syracuse's zone defense has shut them down somewhat. And I'd be surprised if Boeheim got out of the zone. I think he'll stay in that for a while just to see what these people do.
Well, Tim Cohane's going to have to make some adjustments and make them quickly. Lloyd still trying to penetrate in traffic, goes down. It'll be a traveling violation. So there's a case where you're trying to do too much. And now Boeheim is up again.
Yeah, and Jason Hart comes in the game immediately for Rock Lloyd, as Lloyd, as a freshman, tries to create something. Instead of just letting it come up by itself, he's trying to make something happen. But that happens with younger people who are trying to impress the coach for more playing time.
Robert Harris. Now Wheeler.
Certainly been a defensive game so far.
Alcus has worked his way in. Turnaround jumper around and down. So that time, the Orangemen had gone back to the man-to-man defense, and that time it allowed Alcus to operate down low.
Well, Syracuse really struggling so far, trying to get some points.
Hart in traffic. They'll wave that off. It'll be a foul on Wheeler on the reach.
And Wheeler, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, is a very strong individual defensive man. Jason Hart has about 5 or 6 inches on him, but Wheeler really has some strength.
Breaking the action.
Syracuse needs to put some points on the board, though. They're not scoring here at all.
And we have 11:30 to go first half. It's a 1-point Bulls advantage over the Orangemen at 8-7 here on the Empire Sports Network.
Airplanes to handle your 2-day package.
Tomorrow night, 7:30. Sabres travel to Montreal. They battle the Canadiens. Labatt Hockey Hotline follows the game. Don't miss a minute of the action right here on your home for Sabres hockey, the Empire Sports Network. Well, a 1-point lead right now for the Bulls over the Orangemen in a very defensive-minded game.
Yeah, both teams playing very strong physical defense. Neither team able to get their offense going.
Hill from 8 feet, it went 9.
As soon as that ball went 9 feet, Jim Boeheim had Etan Thomas up off the bench, coming in for Otis Hill, no doubt.
Justin back into the lineup now. Pass inside. Alcus working down low. Tries to muscle his way in. That's going to be an offensive foul as he dipped the shoulder.
Pretty good acting job by Jason Cipolla right there as he was caught out of position. Get a chance to take a look at it. We'll see. He kind of wheels back in, but not quite strong enough to knock him down like that. Good play by Cipolla.
33% shooting so far in the first half for the Orangemen, 36 for the Bulls. It hasn't been pretty, but that was nice elevation, nice release by Hart.
Jason Hart is one of the questions that people had about him was, could he shoot the 17-foot jump shot? And he's really been shooting the ball much better the last couple of games.
Wheeler trying to create space. Penetrating pass knocked away. Bergen has it. Center of the lane. Thomas. Too hard of a pass that time on the block. Now Cipolla. Entry pass. That'll be an offensive foul on Thomas as he just rolled over Rasan Young.
Yeah, that's a silly play by Etan Thomas. Maybe I shouldn't say silly. Maybe that's a freshman play. He had position inside. He knew where he was on the court. Here we see right here. All he had to do was just turn around and take a little layup. Instead, he lowers the shoulder, ends up committing the foul. You hate to take away any kind of aggressiveness of it, but by the same token, you have to be able to use your intelligence and get the ball on the inside there.
They'll take their time getting into front court.
Right now, University of Buffalo is a little intimidated on the offensive end. Trying to get the ball inside. It's up to Rasan Young and Mike Martino to kind of take over here and help out.
And they've got to try to free Martino up and let him get his feet set, instead of having to work so hard handling the basketball. Trying to get it to Harris, have it stolen away.
Pretty good defense by Todd Bergen and also by LaShawn Howard on the inside.
Bergen didn't pull the trigger. Instead gives it back to Hart. Perimeter passing now for Syracuse. Cipolla lets it fly from the outside, short off the iron. Syracuse all over the rebound, and Martino commits the foul.
Nice play by LaShawn Howard, a very active and athletic young man out of Toledo, Ohio, who went to prep school last year, had signed with Syracuse the year before, didn't meet the grades, went to prep school, and come in, and I think he's an outstanding player.
See the team fouls on the screen. Good pass in underneath. And he choked on the layup opportunity was Bergen.
Well, Jason Cipolla is not shooting the ball well from the outside. Penetrates nicely inside. Dishes to Howard. Here's where he makes a nice move. Nice dish off in here. Howard, all he's got to do is lay it up, and he cranks it on the inside.
I called him Bergen. It was Howard. Hart's ball away. And he's got 6.
Well, Jason Hart has really taken advantage of his size differential over Mike Martino or Bernard Wheeler. He's been the only offensive threat, really, for Syracuse so far.
Martino in traffic again. Penetrating move by Young. Rejected. And here come the Orange.
Etan Thomas says, not in my house.
Boy. Way downtown. It's a ball around and out. Rebound battled for. Knocked loose. And the boys have it in front court. Wheeler runs into traffic. Now Martino tries to free himself. That one won't go. Rebound Young. He was hammered. No whistle. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll just be an out-of-bounds play for the Bulls. And Tim Cohane is incensed.
Well, as we see Rasan Young here, Martino with one of the first open threes he's had, and even that was challenged. In and out. And the ball's just knocked out of his hands, I think. That's a good call. But, you know, playing against bigger people, sometimes those things happen. He's been able to go against Niagara and Bonaventure, not quite the same size, bothering him on the inside.
Clements, give it off Johnson. This is Young, good head and shoulders. They free Clements from the outside, no good. Rebound. Johnson taps it back out on a nice play. Martino lets this one go short off the front of the iron. Whistle, stoppage of play.
I'll tell you one thing, though. UB might not be shooting the ball very well, but they're extremely aggressive. They've gotten to a number of loose balls. They've got second and third shots, and that's what's bothering Boeheim right now. Playing great defense, Syracuse, on the initial thrust, but then they've given up second and third shots. We've also seen Martino in the last couple of weeks miss his first 2 threes.
Yes.
And all of a sudden heat up. So Syracuse has done a great job defensively on him, but it's a long night here.
Johnson sits. Tangashaka back into the lineup for the Bulls. Now Martino frees up for the 3, and that's also going to be short off the iron. Orangeman on the run. And converting at the other end.
That's the difference between a senior, Otis Hill, and a freshman, Etan Thomas, before, where Thomas just ran over somebody, Hill under control, and just jumps over the top.
Young gets around his man, dives into traffic, off-balance shot won't go. Rebound is tapped, controlled by Syracuse. And this is Hart quickly into front court.
And now Syracuse's defense is just dominating this game right now.
And a technical foul, I think, has been called. And I think they got Tim Cohane. They did.
Gene Manji came from the opposite side here. Called a technical. I'd like to see what happened here.
Well, he probably said something that wasn't very flattering. Janulis will go to the line.
Janulis subbed, and they subbed him in to take the technical foul. I'm not sure that you can do this or not. I'd like to see. He was not in the game when the technical was called, but he subbed in to shoot the technical. Like, obviously, they must think it's the right call. So
he's there. He got them both.
Yep.
Break in the action, and that was a big 2 points. And of course, when we come back, the Orangemen will indeed get the basketball when we come back after this timeout. Syracuse out in front of the Bulls.
You can warm up to Hamburg Fireplace.
Tim Cohane in the huddle that last time out talking to his team about ball screens, back screens, working a little bit harder on offense. Also talking about playing with a little more emotion. And he's also been getting into them to maybe pick up Jason Hart and the Syracuse ball carriers a little bit earlier and try pushing Syracuse a little bit further away from the UV basket. Guys, back to you.
All right, Howard, thank you very much. The Orangemen right now having possession of the basketball after converting those 2 technical fouls on an 8-0 run in the last 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Stripped away, but the Orangemen control. Bergen has it.
Such a mismatch here, though, with Hill against Harris on the inside. He's got 4 or 5 inches on him. Takes advantage.
This Hill again. Connecting on the turnaround, he has 4 points. Hart, the leading scorer for Syracuse, with 6.
UV's in danger of this thing getting out of hand right now.
And again, the Orangemen shift back into that very effective 2-3 zone. Clements had it stripped away. Battle for the loose ball, and that'll be a foul on Clements. Interestingly enough, when he made his initial move, he faked 2 guys right out of their shoes, and then he put the ball down and backed out, and that's when the strip took place right here by Hart.
Well, Jason Hart is a wonderful defensive player. along with being a solid offensive player too. But he came in with great credentials on the defensive end. We're seeing that tonight as he's really doing a great job shutting down both Martino on the defense and also here with the loose ball.
Mendelson, Jason Hart to the line. First offering won't fall, and again they continue to struggle at the free throw line.
Yeah, they're a poor free throw shooting team this year.
59%.
In a lot of close games that they're going to be in, they shoot that poorly, they're going to be really struggling.
Harris, baseline. Right at post up Alcus as the point man in the center of the zone.
Syracuse's zone looks awful big out here right now with Hill.
There's Alcus open, give it up on the baseline. That was going to be by Hill. And out of bounds, and the Bulls are going to get it back.
UB did everything right attacking the zone that time. Got to the wing, overloaded, got it back to the center, dropped it down low for a layup right here. And yet Harris was a little getting it up, and Hill made him pay for it.
Inbounds pass, and that'll be a blocking call on Sapola.
Janulis a little late getting there.
It's Janulis, yes.
Just a little late getting to the defensive spot.
And Sapola's going to check in.
Well, UB has really struggled. They made two baskets in the first minute and a half of this game, and they only have 8 points here with about 7 minutes to go. They really struggled getting it in.
And for Janulis, it is his third personal foul. That free throw got the lucky back iron flip.
That's what they needed. They certainly need some baskets to go in for them right here to get back into this game. They're not doing a bad job defensively. They just need to score some baskets to get their confidence back.
Clemens, for only being a 37% free throw shooter, looked pretty good there. Now he's got 6 points in the game. Hart looking to penetrate, kicks it off. Sapola with a left hand that time, and the finger flip.
Beautiful penetration by Jason Hart made that play. And Sapola got an easy one going to the basket.
Entry pass, baseline for the Bulls. Stolen away by Hart, and he's on the run against Young. Steals it right back. That brought everybody to their feet in this building.
Big, big play.
Martino, penetrating move, lost the basketball, now in traffic, and they got a reach-in foul on Syracuse.
The game is a little wild right here as Hart makes a great steal at the other end. Terrific play by Rasan Young to steal it back from him. You can see right here, he could have given up on this, but he didn't. Makes a great defensive play, gets a little body right there. Got away with one.
That's a splendid play defensively.
Yep.
That's a no-quit play. He could have easily given up and just gone for the foul and bailed out on it.
Absolutely, and they throw it through him. Martino drives, Sapola grabs him. This is what UB needed, though, to get back into this game. Some easy shots, some foul shots are about as easy as you're going to get at this time, especially against Syracuse's defense tonight.
Sapola's first personal. 2 free throws for Martino, and he connects on both. It's a 19-12 advantage for the Orange.
This is where UB's play straight man-to-man all the way through, and it takes away the opportunity of maybe zoning against the Syracuse team that doesn't shoot as well outside.
Rebound followed by Thomas.
I think Etan Thomas decided that he was going to dunk this one no matter who was in his way. Got the rebound strong and just took everybody up with him.
Well, after he made that move, nobody was in his way.
No, he gave a little dance. Gave a little dance once he got it through there.
Alcus with the foul.
The coaching staff, Bernie Fine and Lou Yor, Mike Hopkins, along with Jim Van, really feel that Etan Thomas is going to be an outstanding player down the road out of Oklahoma. A little raw offensively, but he can do that well. He can take it, and he can dunk it, and he can block it at the other end, too.
Leads for three-point play. Bulls lob down low. Johnson puts it up off the window. No good. One tip won't go. And that's Hill then who cleans the glass. On the run. Hart quickly in front court. Bergen, good head shoulder pump fake. Back outside. Hart. Got the three.
Tim Cohane needs a little timeout right here because Syracuse is running on all cylinders right now. But you know what Syracuse is doing? They're playing with a lot more emotion than you've seen them recently. Now, UB, people might say, well, UB is not as good as some of the teams they've played, like West Virginia and so on. But it doesn't make any difference who your opponent is. If you're playing very hard, good things are going to happen for you.
Here's the double team, and the foul will be on Hill as he reached over the shoulder.
Yeah, and that's that fine line again between aggressiveness and over-aggressiveness. As the pass, as Clemens says it, they're looking to trap hard with Hart and Hill, but that is a foul. Oh, Jim, that's a foul. That's a foul, Jim. That's a foul. You got to give him that one.
That'll send Clemens to the line. Matt Clemens, we told you, was a 37% free throw shooter coming into tonight's game.
But you're right, he has great form, though.
He does.
You know, I think it's a confidence thing with him right now. His father was a former Cleveland Cavalier and NBA player for a lot of years, Doug Clemens.
His release and technique look real good. Nice back rotation.
That's not a 37%.
No, it's not.
He made 4 in a row, so he started out maybe 3 for 8.
8 points now in the game for Clemens. Hart is the leading scorer in the contest. He has 9. Entry pass, Hill lost it right into the hands of Thomas, and he got it to fall.
Good play by Etan Thomas. Nice pass inside from Otis Hill, his big buddy.
Again, the Orangemen with the zone. The 2-3 alignment. So effective last year. Got him all the way to the NCAA championship game and within minutes of winning. Look at him back off Wheeler when he has the basketball, because they just know he's not going to take that outside shot. This guy will.
That's right. They won't back off him. That's good scouting, good coaching, good defense.
That's great defense that time. Sapola stepping in. Bergen, Hill, and it slapped away as soon as he put it on the ground. Bad thing to do in traffic like that. Johnson lost it, got it over to Martino. Right to the rack, just took a slap in the face, no whistle, and that's going to be a walk.
Martino is a tough sucker, though.
He is.
He got cracked right in the face, never complained, didn't say anything, just continues to play with it. Right now, it really looks like Syracuse is the dominant team. And we talked a little earlier that UB is stepping up in class here, playing against a Big East team with the tradition of Syracuse. Look a little intimidated. And that's nothing against the program or anything else. They just look like they're struggling to get good shots. And here we see the run. The last time down, but he did get cracked good with it.
That was an excellent defensive play by Sapola stepping in. Hart tried to take it the distance. Did he step out of bounds? He did. Thomas came up with a loose ball, but was on the inline. And McMillan is going to check in now for the Bulls. Clemens will sit. 10-6 turnover-wise. And that's exactly what the Orange men want. Tangashaka back into the lineup. But Johnson will get a rest. Tangashaka with a 6'11" height can do things in the center of the lane. And he did hit the opening outside shot. But that's it. I mean, at least he showed that he had the range to do it.
Well, the zone is really negating Mike Martino right now.
Yes, it is.
And also Rashawn Young, too, is not in the game right here.
There's Tangashaka taking it in, and the little dish off it underneath, and Harris couldn't get it to fall.
They do everything right, make a nice move, and then they can't get the layup to drop.
Bergen lost the basketball into the hands of Bernard Wheeler, and that'll be a double dribble.
Good call by referee Joe Vigner. That was a real quick call. Thought we might miss that one, but Syracuse's defense is really dominating right now.
3:33 to go, first half. Syracuse extending their lead now to 27-14 over Buffalo.
Confident performer, confident about his ability.
Charlton Clark missed. Stanley the rebound. Here is Heron with no help. What will he do? He'll take Padilla, and he'll get to the line.
Not afraid. I mean, there was one where a lot of guards would have backed it off. The numbers were to his disadvantage, but he knew he had the size and maybe the maneuverability with the bounce to get to the goal. And right here he's looking, he realizes there's a little freeze play too. Just enough to think you're fanning and rock the guy and go strong to that goal. He's on a roll right now.
Went to Boston College, McDonald's All-America in high school, Fall River, Massachusetts, Durfee High School. Went to Boston College, played one game there. It was against Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Hurt his wrist, broken wrist, sat out the entire season, needed surgery. Then after Jerry Tarkanian took the job at Fresno, got in touch with him. Went out to Fresno, had to sit out last year, put on some weight, put on some extra poundage. As Bill mentioned, trip back to Fall River for the Christmas holidays.
So they've really struggled trying to get free shots.
However, we have seen the Bulls down in the last 3 games. And they have come back, and they have won all 3. But once again, this is a different element.
Yeah, it's a little different competition, but
as Bergen goes inside, short off the front of the iron, rebound Tangashaka for Buffalo.
Todd Bergen really struggling for the Orange right now. He just can't seem to get it down. But as we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of pressure on this young man. You know, personal pressure is a problem that's going on campus, and you know, I'm not saying whose fault it was or anything else, but the pressure on a young man to perform in front of a crowd like this.
Again, Orangemen staying in the 2-3 zone. They have virtually shut down the offense of the Bulls with the zone attack. And they know that Wheeler is not going to take the outside shot. This man will. Martino gets inside, short, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Syracuse. And it was right as the shot clock was expiring, so they're going to get a new 35 to work with.
Well, fortunate in that sense, but certainly, now, I don't know whether the referees are going to give
they may not.
second. Maybe they'll put a second on there, yeah.
Now the clock had gone down to 0, so now is the meeting of the minds over at the scorer's table, and it appears it will be just 1 second. That's it. So that's a tough break if you're a Buffalo Bull.
Absolutely. You've got 1 second to get this thing up, and obviously it's going to be Martino taking a bomb job or Young on the inside.
And the pass is stolen and then lost right back. Martino breaks in right to the basket, put up Young, and the blocking foul is going to be on Sapola.
Well, Young takes it right to the basket strong. Certainly, we'll see the play right. We'll see it right at the end here. But Young goes right to the basket. Good block by Thomas, but Sapola did get him with the body.
Well, we all know after watching Rasan Young play, he doesn't mind the contact. He won't run away, that's for sure.
No, he's struggling this evening because of the size of the Syracuse players, and certainly being, you know, this UB team is New York City oriented here. He's from New Rochelle, and Harris is from New Rochelle, Wheeler from the city, Martino from right across in Rahway, New Jersey, and a lot of kids from this area that grew up watching Syracuse University basketball. So certainly this is a huge game for them, not only here, but when they go back in the playgrounds in the summer.
You got 1 of 2 at the line, and the ball stolen away. And the Bulls playing tenacious defense.
They really are, and that's how they got back in the St. Bonaventure game last week. That's how they got back in the Canisius game the week before. So, you know, they're not going to quit. They're going to play hard all the way through here. It's a matter of them, can they get some good looks at the basket?
Martino's going to be way off the mark. You can just see that one float away from him. And Bergen has the rebound and quickly off to Hart. And the Orangemen in front court.
Well, if there's one thing that bodes well for UB, it's that Martino hasn't made anything yet. You know he's going to make some shots eventually here.
That should be a reach-in on McMillan. It is. In fact, I think he even got a piece of Bergen's jersey when he tried to make his initial move.
Yep.
Well, Sapola will leave now. And Howard back into the lineup for Syracuse. I'll watch him grab right there. Hey, give me that.
That's a couple hand checks right there by McMillan. And here's Todd Bergen on the foul line.
And if you're wondering why he's wearing 24 and it says McNabb on the back, because he couldn't find his uni someplace.
Well, he left it at home because I think he probably felt that he wasn't going to play in this game tonight, that he was going to start the 7-game suspension that Syracuse University has levied on him. So as a result, he didn't bring his uniform with him. Bergen finally gets a couple foul shots to drop.
Hill is back into the lineup now for Syracuse. 25-15 Orange. And again, they stay in what's really been effective, that 2-3 zone.
Absolutely. Mike Martino's been shadowed every time he's touched the ball. As you can see right there, there's people all over him.
It's interesting. I mean, they bring both guards at him, and then even the wingman.
Yep.
McMillan from way outside is going to be way off the mark. And the Orange take care of the rebound in the presence of Howard.
UB right now settling for long jump shots and that aren't going in the basket.
Well, I think when you've had a couple stuff back in your face, you think maybe that's all you can do. The air ball by Lloyd. Well, we've seen about 4 or 5 of those tonight.
We really have.
McMillan in heavy traffic, got that one pushed right back into his face. And here comes Hart the other way. On the run. Takes it up hard, and the offensive charge.
Well, that's not a very good play by Jason Hart, though. That's the time we could have stopped. He had people filling both lanes to give him the pass. Instead, took it hard to the basket himself. As you see the play, I don't know if that was charge or not, but I don't know if it was the correct decision on Jason Hart's position either. Mayhem obviously did not think that this was the right call. So one official saying that the other official called a grab on the play.
Mayhem still pleading his case with one official on the far side while the play continues. Down low on the block, Young in traffic, forces it up, had it blocked, foul call? Yes. Well, he is operating against guys who are 4 or 5 inches taller, and he's finding ways to at least get to the free throw line.
He is, and he's getting some people in foul trouble here, too, as Hill's committed his second foul with 55 seconds to go.
Good head and shoulder pump fake, and right there, you see Hill come over the back.
Yep, good call. A shot he probably would not have made.
You have to convert here.
Yeah, you got to make your free throws. And John Young has missed the last couple.
Harris into the lineup. McMillan sits.
Cohane looking for some help from somebody off the bench.
Anybody who can put the ball in.
Yeah, he really is struggling right now, trying to get somebody that can score.
Free throw also short, being tapped around and coming our way. Look out! And it'll be UB basketball. Sorry, Jimmy, I'm bailing. I'm not hanging around here.
You were too. Thanks for the help.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you can stand there and take the hit, buddy. 52 seconds remaining, and he's on the sideline right there. And he tried to call a timeout, but he had already.
You noticed me protecting you.
Yeah, look at me. I'm right. Yeah, see, I'm helping you.
Foul. Yeah, I got the foul right there. Yeah. Well, it's important, almost imperative for UB to get a basket here before the end of the half to try to get this thing down to 11 or 12.
And Martino is just shadowed every time he touches it. Inside, the Young kicks it out, and nobody home.
A frustrating time right now for the University of Buffalo, in that have not been able to get anything free. It's also an important defensive stance right now. They don't want to go down 16 or 17 at the half. They're going to go in and regroup at half and try to figure out what they can do to get some open shots. On the other side, Syracuse certainly probably going to play for one here.
About a second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Bergen will take it in between the circles near midcourt. They'll just run the time down and then they try to take the last offer.
UB does a nice job being real physical against this team, banging Jason Hart at every cut coming through.
See him go right here. Hart inside off the Hill, stripped away beautifully, and goes out of bounds with 2.9 seconds remaining. Well, Syracuse had the play well designed, but I don't think they thought that the defense was going to come right here from Young.
Yeah, well, Hart makes a nice penetration, kicks it down the pick and roll to Otis Hill. Hill tries to take it up strong, but good defensive play by UB.
2.9. Lob pass down low. Hill spin off the back of the iron. And the shot clock sounded, and then the game clock. So that will be our first half of play is concluded. And right now, Syracuse does a number on the UB Bulls as they shut them down in the final 15 minutes. The first 5 or 6 minutes of the game was pretty even. And then after that, it was all Syracuse. We're at halftime. The Orange Men 29 and the Bulls 15.
That three certainly would have gotten them right back into the thing. Almost a 5-point swing.
You saw Edgar Padilla come back in, and Bruiser Flint almost has to make this move. 10:19 left, down 12 with 4 fouls. Edgar, you're a senior. You know what you have to try and do, not pick up the last one.
Well, Bruce almost got that St. Joe's job a few years back, was highly disappointed. It ended up turning out pretty well. Before 30, one of his dreams, and the other dream is to win the NCAA championship.
He's an alum of St. Joe's down in Philadelphia. 2 free throws for Kendrick Brooks, first points of the half, 7 on the game. And the Minutemen down 14.
Fresno really works on you. Nice dump down.
Jamal Bassett also back in with 4 fouls.
And that's one of the few times they use that little post with the guard coming around. Defense reacted. Great look.
A career night for Bassett. He has 16 points. Freshman out of the great factory, St. Anthony's. Here is Forney working on Babel. Babel holds his own.
Good give.
Travieso.
Giving it up early. That's the experience. All starts from defense. Every time you played UMass, there was that big guy in the middle. That time, Babel up large, and the early give up, the little kiss release. But that's the curl and the dump down that was so effective. Nice hands, ready and prepared by Ajmal Bassett.
Carmelo Travieso completes the three-point play, and the lead is back under double digits. Now Bassett's 4.
Buffalo, New York. Syracuse leading the University at Buffalo 29-15. Howard Simon courtside, and if you watch the top of the telecast, a little bit of a celebrity tip, if you will, as Wolf Blitzer from CNN.
Herron helps break it. It goes right down the lane. Rebound, Kettner, UMass within 9. Big possession here. Travieso. Herron has numbers. It's 3-on-1. Pretty.
Roberson. And he did a great job faking as though he was going to Young. Set up that lane, got it to the middle, send it in. Now Roberson, one of those guys that everybody raved about too. Pretty good in the open floor.
Terrence Roberson, a 3-time parade All-American. Kenny Anderson, Alonzo Mourning, the only other two who can say that. As Padilla gets into double digits.
With the kiss in traffic.
Fresno State's lead under 10. Crowd that has been somewhat subdued here at the Mullins Center. Back to their feet. And Herron puts them right back on their derriere.
Jump stop. Is this kid tough? Respective derrieres.
A 20-second timeout for Bruiser Flint and UMass.
And Herron's so strong physically, Mike, that he keeps coming at you. You start looking to help, you get the wrong angle. You can't get the feet in the proper position. The legs right here. You can see Edgar Padilla never regained the real head-on the ball defense so necessary. And on the other end, there are some kisses that remind you of home. And this one, a little help from above. Good, solid penetration by UMass.
Evil beware.
And you do.
Evil beware.
Here it's Fresno by 11. UMass hanging around with some foul trouble and trying to play through it. Padilla lost it inside. Put up a wild shot, trying to get the foul. Scrum for the loose ball, and the jump ball means the arrow to UMass.
And Edgar tried to get the body and get to the foul line. Real heady play, did not get the call. And right now, fatigue, I would think, a problem for UMass, whereas Fresno's rotate a lot of bodies, strong defensively, force you to catch it a little bit further. And how about the
M&T's online banking service, which always comes in handy when you're really busy. M&T, all the bank you'll ever need.
Sabres fans, join Molson and Callahan's at 5450 Southwestern Boulevard in Hamburg on Wednesday, December 11th for the Molson Sabres.
Started an offensive foul on Kettner. Nope.
back screen, I think?
We'll see who they get. Let's watch away from the ball. What's going on?
I think it's Winston Smith, though. He does a back screen here, right? See him move into it.
That's 3 on Winston Smith, the freshman.
Turnover, though, critical time.
Every time UMass gets a little bit closer, Fresno comes up with the one play, whether it's the Herron play that we had just before the timeout.
And usually it's caused by the D, and yet that time it was just not a good screen. You moved on it.
On the Empire Sports Network, 29-15. That is indeed our halftime score. This game was close early, like in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and then all of a sudden the Orangemen got their act together, particularly going to the 2-3 zone, which was extremely effective in shutting down the UB Bulls.
Well, to say they shut them down, that's kind of an understatement when they shot 4 for 25 from the field, University of Buffalo. But you know what? Jim, they didn't get any good shots all half long.
I know they did. We're going to roll some highlights for you right now, and Jim's going to diagram for you. And the first play here will be Jason Hart dishing off to Sapola, and you'll see how it sets up.
Well, see how Hart, he was really a very good basketball player. And we see how he can penetrate through and get the ball to the open man. He's going to swing down through. Sapola's going to come from the opposite corner and get an easy lay-in. Let's take a look and see what happens. A little screen off the top. Martino gets screened, so Hart comes through, makes a nice dish off, right to the basket.
Then, of course, came the way that these teams are playing extremely hard defensively, and the first one you're going to see will be the Jason Hart steal.
We'll see Harris throw the ball away to begin with, and you'll watch how Hart comes up with the ball, makes a great steal, but then it would be very easy for Rasan Young to give up on the play, but he does not. Let's take a look and see a steal and then another steal.
All right, this is Harris right here, and watch, there's Hart.
There's Hart beating his man, anticipating beautifully, and look what Young does, though. Jumps right down through, makes a terrific play defensively, stops the basket, and gets them an opportunity to get a basket at the other end.
But it has been the Jason Hart show.
Well, hey, Jason Hart has really developed offensively. We'll watch him spot up for a three-point shot on the other end of the court. But he is somebody who's now going to the basket, dishing off, and also looking for the three as we see him take the ball up. Okay, now watch what he does right here when you see the ball gets through, and they make a nice setup with him because he spots right behind the three-point line here as he comes back. But Bergen does a nice play here, coming through and then passing back, creating a good play and then dropping it back into Hart. Watch. Good spot up by Hart. Nice release for the three.
And he's got 9 points here in the first half of play. Our final diagram for you is, well, Jimmy already gave you the stat on how poorly the Bulls are shooting. Here's why.
Well, here we see McMillan taking a three-point shot. This 2-3-0 Syracuse zone, as we mentioned, has really hurt University of Buffalo. And we'll see McMillan take a shot from about from here, I think, on the other side of the half-court line. Maybe a little bit up here. But you'll see what I'm talking about when we swing it. And all of a sudden, McMillan gets about a 28-foot jump shot here, and he launches immediately. He just wants to get it off before Syracuse people come on him. Not very close.
And then, of course, the Orange men taking care of business on the glass.
Yeah.
They have indeed dominated, particularly in the last 10 minutes of the first half. Well, we've got another half to go. We'll wait and see if the Bulls can indeed climb back in, or if it's the Orange men all night long. The Buffalo Bulls scored a field goal.
Well, when you think that Rasan Young 0 for 4, Mike Martino 0 for 7, 0 for 11 between them, they shoot horribly from the field. When you're down 14, you got to go in there at halftime and think, hey, 0 for 9 for the threes. We're okay. We got a chance here now. We're only down 14, and our two best players haven't got a basket yet.
Yeah.
Of course, Syracuse looks at it on the other side and says that, had we played well in any way at all offensively, this game would be over right now.
29-15, Syracuse on top of Buffalo. We have another half of basketball to go here at the arena. We'll be right back after this. We're ready now for second half action. And the Orange men start with a basketball at midcourt. Now move into front court.
Straight man-to-man again as we see all the way through.
Hill on the blocks. Alkus tries to double him up defensively down there. Hart, they play the two-man game. Hill hit from behind, inside, shot put up, won't go by Thomas, and Nate Johnson with the rebound for the Bulls.
That's a basket that Etan Thomas has got to make. He was 4 for 4 the first half. He and Jason Hart, the two freshmen, really led the way for Syracuse, but he's got to knock that one down.
Well, we were sort of having a conversation about, if you're Buffalo, you can't play much worse. Martino in traffic. Give it off down low. Young short arms it off the front of the iron. Controlled by the Orangeman. This is Todd Bergen.
Not a good shot though by Rasan Young. Falling away from the basket. He's got to play his game.
Stripped beautifully by Wheeler. 2-on-2. Wheeler behind the back dribble. Still in control. Puts it up. Rejected by Sapola. And Wheeler gets it back. Young spots for three. Won't let it fly. Martino will. And he's off the front of the iron. And again, the Bulls with another offensive rebound.
They're really doing a great job on the offensive board. Mike Martino really struggling shooting the ball.
Wheeler in traffic, give it off down low, shot up and good. Alcus and the foul.
Well, that's what UB needed, a little spark here. The freshman Alcott gives it to him, but Bernard Wheeler, who's really been a strength right here the last couple sets. Here's a beautiful penetration, and watch the dish off inside. Alcott fakes, he knows everybody's around, has enough room in the inside to lay it in and get fouled.
Well, an opportunity now for Alcus to complete the three-point play, and that's way too hard. And Hill has the rebound for the Orange.
First basket for UB in a long, long time, though. Well over 11 minutes.
Yep, that's right. Hart and Sapola. They look for Hill on the block. Here's the double. Sapola spots for the three and won't get it to fall. Rebound comes down to Wheeler, and the Bulls trying to up-tempt them. Martino looking in underneath. Give it off. Wheeler, I think he got away with a walk that time.
Yep.
Alcus spots from the outside. It won't go. Hill rebounds. Here comes Hart. The long pass. And the flip by Bergen.
One of the first times we've seen the real athleticism of Todd Bergen going to the basket. He's really struggled along with Otis Hill, only 2 and 4 points respectively at halftime.
Wheeler, kick it off. Johnson walks his way in. Left-handed shot, around it down.
You know what? It looks like they're not playing quite as intimidated right now. They're going into the basket, trying to get some inside moves and score that way.
That's Johnson's first move. Bulls stay in the man-to-man. Quickly, as soon as Hill touches, they double. Bergen shows it, and then we got a hand check on Young.
Tough matchup for Rashawn Young against Todd Bergen. Bergen got 3 or 4 inches on him on the inside, and Bergen's also a very competent player on the defense.
Young's first personal foul. And this is the Orangemen really at their best in the open court.
Beautiful lob pass. And, no, not Donovan McNabb, even though that's what the jersey says, but Todd Bergen with the lob pass.
Howard into the lineup now for the Orangemen.
3 freshmen on the floor with Ethan Thomas, Sean Howard, and Jason Hart.
And Hart's looking to take it all the way. Short off the front of the iron. Rebound battle for controlled by Buffalo. Here comes Young on the run, pushing it ahead. Martino couldn't fire it up. Again, heavy traffic. Give it off. Johnson tries to back in traffic. Pump fake. Left hand won't go. Rebound Hill. Orangeman with numbers with a 3-on-2. Sapola right to the hoop, and the finger flip on the reverse with the left hand.
Beautiful pass from Jason Hart, though. He knows how to run the break. Perfect pass to Sapola for a layup.
Entry pass. Nadi Hadavi is checked in for the first time in tonight's game. Number 52 for Buffalo.
Hadavi has always done a nice job every time he's been thrust into the game by Tim Comey. Let's see if he can give him a little lift here.
Johnson, Hadavi in traffic, pulls up, soft left-hander off the side of the arm. Pretty cold. Here's the outlet pass to Howard. Right to the basket, and got it. And the foul.
That's a good play by LaShawn Howard as he took it hard to the basket. Really trying to draw the charge, but got there late. Outlet pass by Otis Hill. Howard takes it straight to the basket. I think what's been the most evident telling statistic has been that Mike Martino has not been able to get going here tonight offensively at all. Every time he touches the ball, he's got 1 or 2 Syracuse people all over him. And it's hard for somebody 5'10" to try to be able to create on his own or to shoot over the top of some bigger people.
There's the perimeter passing now by Buffalo. And again, the Orangemen staying in that very effective 2-3 zone. Hadavi thought about it, didn't pull the trigger, and that'll be a reach-in on Hill. Way away from the basket.
Silly play by Otis Hill right there. You need to do that. You know, you want to be aggressive, as we talked about earlier, but you don't need to take that 25 feet from the basket. Hadavi's certainly not going to shoot it from out there.
Third personal on Hill. Entry pass, Johnson in traffic, got it stripped down low. Here come the Orangemen with Sapola controlling on the dribble. Go, sit. Hart penetrates, lost the basketball, whistle, reach-in foul. I believe they got Bernard Wheeler.
You know, when you penetrate, Jim, a lot of good things can happen. Sometimes bad things happen too, but a lot of good things happen for your team. And Hart has really been effective penetrating in tonight, getting to the open spot and getting to the open man.
Third personal on Wheeler. Howard in between the circles, now giving off to Hart.
Syracuse is supposed to put this game away.
Well, that was a bad shot, but the rebound right there by Howard. Nobody near him. The ball just fell into his hands, and he just followed.
Syracuse has a lot of active rebounders right now in the court, and UB really needs to find somebody to put the ball in the basket.
And they have struggled all night long. And we more or less anticipated this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you thought that, you know, Martino and Young were going to have to play very well tonight in order to get free and make some baskets, and they've really struggled on the offensive end.
Rebound. Thomas. Now Sapola. Hill. Skip pass across the lane. Howard moves into the center of the lane. Pulls up. Short off the front of the iron. Rebound. The follow by Hill.
Big body.
And a lot of strength. A lot of strength.
Yep, really banging hard on the inside, and UB is in some trouble right now.
6 points, Otis Hill, and the rout is apparently on at 40-19. And the steal by Hart. Wheeler will challenge him. Hart can't get it to go. And then the foul from behind on Sapola as Martino came up with a rebound.
Pretty good effort, though, by Jason Sapola. He really worked hard to try to get to the offensive board. He was just a little late behind him. Jason Hart with a terrific steal right here. He tries to go to the basket and bring it hard. Wheeler, pretty nice play, though, as he runs right in front of him, and Hart just can't quite get it to go down.
We'll be back here on the Empire Sports Network after this.
On Smith inside. This is the start of a very long road trip, the continuation after the game in Eugene, in Amherst, then in Austin. You go with them. Getting down in Texas over the weekend. They go back home, week of finals, then back on the road, Texas Tech, St. Mary's, Texas Tech game being played in Las Vegas. That should be a sideshow of its own.
Gucci Rowe will be back. Huh? Well, Billy Bato's got it going pretty good. Yeah, the one thing that hurt UMass tonight was the Oregon loss for Tarp, because he was very disappointed. He's worked them harder since then. He doesn't feel they're as tough as they should be. They didn't run. They didn't get loose balls. I mean, this guy's enjoying himself. It's like a renaissance of sorts, because he said the loss the other night, years ago, he wouldn't have been able to sleep. So now he's a little more understanding, and another one of those breakouts, huh?
For Roberson, who had no chance of a shot, but Terdenga with the putback. Garrett turned
The Rochester to take on the Amerks. You can see all of the action on the AHL. There's only one place to find it, right here, the Empire Sports Network. Well, a terrific crowd here at the arena enjoying what they're seeing.
Well, Syracuse has played much better to start the second half here offensively also, and UB has improved a little bit, but they still can't get any open jump shots to go down, and they're not quite big enough to dominate anything on the inside.
9 points in the last 2:53, all Syracuse. Clemens into the lineup now for the Bulls, along with Shaka, who's trying to work in underneath. Had it rejected from behind by Thomas, and he comes up with a loose ball. And here's Hart in front court.
Thomas has really been a factor inside defensively and offensively tonight.
Well, they're really working on getting that ball down the hill, and he's starting to really light it up.
Well, that was a great pass by Jason Sapola. In fact, there was 2 good passes. The first time didn't work. He gave it to him again, and Otis Hill just took it hard over a 6'3" defender.
Yeah, you learn to work that 2-man game. Shaka in traffic. Nowhere to go. Kicks it off. Martino finally with an open look, and he finally got a 3 to go.
And I'll tell you what, Otis Hill was right on top of him, too. They've done a great job defensively on him all night long, and Mike Martino finally knocks one down.
20 points, Syracuse advantage. Hill again, and the foul. And Robert Harris just cannot handle Otis Hill. It's a physical impossibility.
No, it's just, he's being asked to do something that he's given up probably 20 pounds or 25, 30 pounds maybe to Otis Hill in about 4 or 5 inches. And that's really difficult to do. But if they're going to continue to play man, and that's what UB does, then I think Harris is going to have to look to try to front Hill on the inside and get some help from the back. Or follow him and hope he misses his free throws like he just did.
A 66% free throw shooter. We told you, however, as a team, Orangemen shoot less than 60%. They shoot 59. In front court, Martino. Give it off, Clemens. Now Young. They look inside the Tangashaka, nothing going there. Clements pulls up, spots it, it won't go. Rebound again, controlled by Hill. Outlet pass, Sapola at the other end, the easy clean.
Well,
I was good at that in college. I could cherry
picker in the world.
With the best of them. You bet.
Well, Syracuse could certainly afford to run somebody down the court, and there's another steal by Jason Hart, almost steal anyways. Syracuse can afford to do that because their big people are just dominating on the boards.
That's a tough inside play that time by Rasan Young.
Rasan Young used the rim beautifully that time to keep all those shot pockets away.
Martino with the steal from Sapola. Here come the Bulls running. Martino right down the center lane. He should pull up and take that one. He did. He drew the foul. You know what? He was so hesitant, Jimmy, to take that shot. He had a wide open spot. We're about 4 feet from the basket, and he froze momentarily, and that allowed the defense to catch up to him.
Yeah, well, you know, he's had a guy in his face all game long. He's never had an open shot, so he certainly has to realize that same thing's going to happen. See Janulis come in for Sapola, but it's the 4th foul on Sapola off of this play. Martino's starting to get something going here a little bit. He made a couple free throws in the first half, finally got his first 3, and now makes the first of a 2-shot foul.
He's got 6 tonight. This is a kid who's averaging 18 a game, now 7.
But if he can get some shots up, he will start to light it up a little bit too if he gets in a rhythm. They haven't let him get into any kind of a rhythm tonight.
On the block, Thomas, left hand, whistle foul. Just too much and too often of the orange men down low.
Yep, too big on the inside as they front inside. Harris is saying, what can I do here? I'm just staying right behind the guy. He reaches on the play. I think if he doesn't reach, he probably doesn't call that foul. You see it again on the inside.
There's the touch right there on the arm.
Touch foul that time. No, I'm not so sure in this game that that's a foul. But
a high arcing free throw from Thomas. You teach him how to shoot that high arc.
Well, somebody looked like it taught him how to shoot that thing, and he's been shooting the ball pretty well tonight, 3 for 4. The young man is going to have to play a role for Syracuse once they get into the Big East Conference play.
Drained them both, 47-26. Orange men over the Bulls. Thomas, by the way, the only Syracuse player in double figures, and that's a pretty good move by Young in the center. He got 3 orange men to elevate, then he drew the contact.
Well, we've certainly seen him do that before. He splits the defense beautifully, makes a nice fake. Thomas is already out of position, so he just draws the foul. Rasan Young is a very, very tough competitor, and I would be extremely surprised if he wasn't going to go all out here for these last 12 and a half minutes.
And he's on the money with the first offering at the line. A 74% free throw shooter. Bergen is going to check back in. Howard will leave for Syracuse. Nope, now they change. It's Thomas who sits.
Graham has to be happy with the efforts that he's gotten from Thomas tonight.
Short off the iron, rebound tapped out. Here comes Hart on the run. Orangeman with numbers. Bergen in traffic, ball loose. Picked up by Janulis. Now they swing it to the baseline area. Back outside, Hart. Hill wants it on the block, but instead it's long-range bombing, and it's controlled by Janulis, and Tangashaka wrapped him up in a wrestling move.
Tangashaka just decided he wasn't going to get a layup on that one, so he just put his arms around him. You see Tim Cohane looking on, trying to figure out what he can do to get his team back in this game.
Here's the nice move, and then the wrap-up. And Howard penetrating, immediately draws the foul.
Tough match now. We've been talking about Harris and Young playing against big, strong people all the time. But Mike Martino is matched up against John Howard here, who's a 6'5" swing player who's playing at the guard spot now. Jason Howard is 6'4" as a guard, strong and 185 pounds. So it's not an easy task for Mike Martino. He's expected to score and guard somebody at the same during the same game.
Howard at the free throw line, cannot get it to drop, and this is a young man who's shooting 41% at the free throw line.
Well, this is, as we mentioned before, this is an area that Syracuse really has to improve on, because they're going to get an awful lot of close games this year. And if guys aren't shooting good free throws, they're not going to be in at the end of games, I'll guarantee you.
That's right. Martino from way outside. That one won't go. Rebound, Otis Hill.
But not a bad shot, though.
No, for him, yes.
You know, I mean, he's going to have to get, in order to get some shots, he's got to take a step farther out. We've seen him make shots from that distance before.
Bergen for three. He lets that one go. It's kind of like a little bit of a set shot. He
it really is.
Doesn't leave the ground too much and keeps both feet down.
Got that lefty going. But he's a good player, and he hasn't played as well this year as he's capable, but he is really a very good player.
Young trying to get inside again. Off balance one-hander, and again, it's Young who's going to make another trip back to the free throw line.
Young's trying to do it on his own right now, which isn't a bad idea. UB needs some points, and we see him kind of take it into the basket. That's a little throw move with that extra step, but he got away with it. See if he can convert two at the end here. That's a telling stat too, James.
Sure is.
Averaging 20 and got 5 right now for the game.
Yeah.
So he and Mike Martino, the two high scorers, averaging almost 40 points a game between them. Don't even have double figures between them right now.
Thomas in, Hill out. Hill has 4 fouls. Lloyd back into the lineup, and Howard sits.
One player we have not seen tonight is Elvira Ochina, who started all of Syracuse's previous games. I know that they were going to make a move tonight, try to go to a smaller lineup, but he hasn't seen any action at all.
We also have 2 walk-ons that came on the trip, and they are suited up.
Oh, they'll play too if this game gets on. They usually do.
It's 50-29. The Orangemen in total control over the Bulls.
Place of your dreams at
Empire Sports Network. Now Jim Sadlin out there at halftime dropping his drawers. That's one of the promotions they do here during the timeout with the kids. It's a lot of fun.
Well, UB's not having any fun right now.
No, they're not.
No, Syracuse is having a little bit more than they are. So see if UB can climb back into this game and get some respectability now.
Pass back outside, comes to Hart, looks down low on the block, nothing there. Here's the penetrating move by Hart in traffic, lost the basketball to Martino. Wheeler, traffic, got to shoot that shot from time to time, and again the loose ball. Hart's going to beat everybody to it, and give it off underneath the Lloyd, and he walked with it. Oh, sloppiness now.
Sloppy, but a gorgeous play by Jason Hart. But what I was laughing at is Rashawn Young at the other end of the court played the old playground wraparound fake behind, and everybody went for it, and then he missed the easy layup. But terrific play from Rashawn Young. Syracuse's quickness showed on that loose ball too. Jason Hart got to the ball much quicker than anybody else. I almost think at this point Mike Martino has to be a little selfish. He's got to have to take some shots that are maybe a little out of his range, but he needs to get some baskets.
Now Clemens is going to let it fly, and that one won't go. Rebound. Lloyd had it, lost it, and saved it. And now we got guys hitting the deck, and it's going to be, I believe, Buffalo basketball. It is. Malkus, good hustle play.
Well, there's the first play right here. Oh, a little push on Malkus, and Jason Hart tried to save it, but couldn't. He got away with one there.
Again, the 2-3 zone. Martino, back outside it comes Clemens. He's going to fire for 3, and it's going to be out of play. And after the first 2 that he hit, he hasn't been able to come close.
Yeah, he's really struggling right now because they know they need their outside shooting to come into play here, and Clemens is struggling, and Martino can't get a shot off the shadow on him all the
Clemens 8 points right now for the Bulls. He got them all early. And then the door closed. Jumper up. Down low, ball slapped away. Martino comes up with it, gets hit from behind. That'll be a foul.
You got to really like Mike Martino's effort, though. I mean, he's never stopped playing. Aggressive defensively there, picks it up, gets fouled. It was a terrific play. Beats everybody through the loose ball. Thomas kind of trips him unintentionally, but just kind of gives him a little bang. And we have a 20-second timeout coming up.
Yeah, we do, yeah. And Thomas with his 3rd personal foul. It is a 50-29 advantage for the Orangemen, and we have almost 10 minutes to go here in this second half of play.
You know, we saw Jim Boeheim and his team and UB and their team taking a lot of threes tonight. Both coaches, of course, are part of this Coaches versus Cancer program that the National Association of Basketball Coaches work with the American Cancer Society, and they every three-point shot made by their respective teams. And here, two of the coaches, Tim Cohen and Jim Boeheim, are very active in that program, and so for that reason, we certainly would like to see them make a few more threes just to help out. Tonight, I don't think it's going to happen tonight. They certainly aren't seem to be shooting the ball as well as they could tonight. Be in the 1-on-1 though. 10 minutes to go.
1 of 14 for the Bulls behind the arc.
I guess that's not shooting the ball very well. No. Syracuse not doing a whole lot better. 2 for 8.
Martino drops down the free throw. Tim Cohen applauding on the bench.
Well, I think
he'd applaud anything right now.
I think you're right. I think now Martino missing a free throw, but Tim Cohen has to look at this thing. You know, you're down 20 with 10 to go. You've got to try and do the best you possibly can to make this thing so after the game's over, you feel that we've worked very hard, which they have, and they just haven't been able to convert against the bigger, more talented Syracuse team.
Hart thought about it, didn't pull it. Bergen will, and got it for 3.
Bergen knocking down a couple threes here to get himself back into the game.
Bergen in double figures now. He has 10. Young trying to make his way into the orange and gets cut off again. Boy, Hart just faces up on Martino as soon as he touches it. Clemens in traffic, lost the ball. Now that would be a double dribble. He couldn't touch it.
Cohen thought that the ball was knocked out of his hands, but I don't believe so. I think it was just he lost control of it himself. Jason Hart getting a break somewhere on the side. If Syracuse is going to be successful this year, Jason Hart's going to be on the floor 35 or 36 minutes of every game.
I think so.
Yep.
Cole, a nice move in the center of the lane. Freed himself to get the shot off. Couldn't get it to go. Whistle. Reach in foul. Yes. Is it on Thomas?
Yes, it is.
Hey, 33 holes.
That's his 4th personal. And we take the slow off to the other end.
Well, see, Thomas has 4. Hill has 4. Orchina finally coming into the game, getting an opportunity to play. You know, tough situation for Elver Orchina, who really didn't get much of a chance to play last year. So in effect, he's almost a freshman this year also. Young man out of Croatia in
Sarajevo.
Sarajevo, excuse me.
Bosnia.
Yep, Bosnian. I'm sorry. And you know, tough thing. He has not been home in 3 years. Hasn't seen his family in 3 years. He spent high school over in Illinois, then came to Syracuse, and he was going to go back home this summer. But they were afraid that if he went home, they would not let him back out of the country, so he decided not to. But he really has been homesick, Jim Boeheim has been saying. And you know, you can put yourself in that position as a young man, hasn't seen his family in 3 years.
This is Bergen operating. Sapola. Orchina with a backdoor cut and executed perfectly with Sapola collecting the basket.
That's what Orchina does, though. He's a wonderful passer for a big man, and he struggled a little bit with his shooting and inside moves, but he's a terrific, terrific passer.
He is 6'11" and over 230 pounds.
He just needs some time and experience. He's got to get a little quicker feet, but he needs some time and experience, and I think he'll be fine.
Traveling violation on Martino as Bergen went over and faced him up, and he was going to let it fly and then couldn't, and shuffled the feet.
I think after this game, this will be the old Gene Hackman and Hoosiers story about they'll know what kind of gum this man is chewing after this game, because they've been in his face with every time he's touched the ball.
Orchina working outside, again looking for the backdoor cut, but it couldn't happen because of the foul. It was a hole.
Well, Syracuse resembles a different team when Orchino does come in, because it's more of a high post passing team as opposed to when Hill and Thomas are in. They're post-up players around the box, but Orchina moves out. Jim Boeheim, ideally, I think, would like to see Orchina get out to the foul line area and make some be a high-low post offense with Hill on the block and Orchina up high, feeding him.
So Bergen at the line, and the first one drops through. Todd Bergen is a 70% free throw shooter, and he's got 11 in the game. There aren't a lot of guys on this Syracuse team you want on the line in crunch time, although that is obviously not the case tonight. but it will be when they get more into Big East play.
It absolutely will.
Wheeler penetrating move, kicks off. Martino again, nowhere to go. Wheeler inside. And the shot from the outside is no good that time by McMillan. And on the run, McMillan knocks it down and picked up by Martino. Hopkins in underneath, and that time it was knocked away by Cipolla. Syracuse, I think, Jimmy, just reacts too much speed. They're too quick down low when the Bulls are trying to make that initial penetration to the basket. Break in the action. 7:41 to go in the game. Orangemen in control easily, 57-32. Reasons that the Orangemen have exploded here in the second half is because of plays like this, the backdoor cut.
That is a gorgeous play that you learned when you were in grammar school. If somebody overplays you, run a backdoor, and the man will get you the ball, and he did.
All right, let's go over to Howard Simon. Howard?
I don't know how much you can say when you're down 25 with 7:41 to go, but Tim Cohane working some fundamentals, get some stops on defense, working on the movement on the baseline against the zone, and talking about guys about fighting through screens and just trying to do some fundamentals with these guys these last few minutes. Back to you, gentlemen.
Well, I hate to say it's a learning experience, but it is.
Boy, it sure is, and they just really have struggled tonight, and they've been a little bit, and I hate to say intimidated, but just tentative all night long, trying to feel as though, will this work, will that work? Nothing's worked right now.
Alkus with a rejection. The Orangemen struggle for the basketball and hang on. Cipolla has it near midcourt. And look at Wheeler just pressure up against the ball.
You know, when you look at rebound, Syracuse is really rebounding the ball well the second half.
4-3 on the outside. Cipolla won't go. Rebound. Alkus is in there, and we have a whistle stoppage of play. And it's going to go against Syracuse.
I hope you don't have a date in the next half hour or something here.
We're going to be here. You're trying to tell me that?
I think we're going to be here for a while. With 6:57 to go, this might be a walk from one foul line to the other for the last 7 minutes here. That's a tough situation for Tim Cohane because his team is coming up with 3 fantastic wins in a week.
Right.
You know, sweeping the little 3 of Niagara, Canisius, and Bonaventure, and it's a little bit too much to ask for him to win tonight's game. I just thought maybe the game would be a little bit closer, and I'm sure he did too, but Syracuse's overall size and athleticism and confidence.
Well, not only that, you can't shoot 19%, 8 of 43 from the floor.
Yep. And you have to give Syracuse a great deal of credit for that, no question. Because there hasn't been a whole lot of open shots here for this UB team. Even now, when the game's over, I mean, there's another shot that Martino has a guy right in his face with.
Yeah, they just refuse to let up on him. Oh, great entry pass inside for the easy basket.
Jason Cipolla makes some beautiful passes when he's taken over at the point for Jason Hart.
Clements from the outside. That one's way off the mark. Save, but there's nobody home.
Now, Clemens is trying to make a statement for himself, and he's got an opportunity to do that because Tim Cohane's going with him, but he just can't seem to knock anything down, and that's very, very frustrating, I'm sure, for him and for the coaches. On the other hand, Syracuse is getting an awful lot of confidence and an awful lot of opportunity for their young people as they come into this Big East season.
Again, the backdoor cut. And this time it does not pay dividends, but the Orangemen on the offensive glass and a follow by Howard.
Well, LaShawn Howard is really an active player. We mentioned it earlier that I really like the way he plays. A good defensive player, slasher around the basket, got good hands inside. He's going to be a factor for this team down the stretch, I think.
Inside underneath, Young. Reverse, and he got it.
Well, good play by Rashawn Young. He's still working on the inside. You'd be a little discouraged, but still working defensively.
And that'll be a foul because the player fell down. Even though he just may have nudged him, once you fall down and lose possession of the basketball, the officials will whistle it. If he would have nudged him and he wouldn't have lost possession, they wouldn't have called the foul.
Yep. But Syracuse is going to be going to have to work very, very hard to be in contention in the Big East this year, Jim. I think it looks like Villanova is the strongest team in that league, one of the stronger teams in the country, of course. But everybody else is pretty equal. I mean,
just think if Nova still had Kerry Cook.
Yeah. But, you know, they've got a lot of very good players in that program, and they probably, if they had Kittles, wouldn't know what to do with some of the other good ones they have. So they're in pretty good shape as a team. Look for for them to be a national power this year, I would imagine.
The walk-on Frazier into the lineup, number 43 for the Orangemen. There are 2 walk-ons on the team. Evan Vogel is the other. We expect to probably see him before the night is over.
Muzzin still really struggling shooting the ball.
He'll have 5 minutes to go.
Good opportunity for Syracuse's young people, too. Howard, Brock Lloyd, Martina to try to get something going. Get a few baskets, give themselves some opportunity.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be in here, I might as well take a few shots.
Yeah, might as well increase my stats.
Because I know I'm coming out pretty soon, so I might as well knock it down right now.
11. Clemens still finding and not finding.
Wow. This is a nightmare night for Matt Clemens. He's really struggling on the offensive end.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Alkus, and we talked about Vogel. Here he comes out of New Jersey at 5'11", 170-pound freshman. Frazier is a forward at 6'4", 200, a junior, and he's from Brooklyn. Both are walk-on players.
Yep.
And they have a third walk-on player, but he didn't make the trip because he had class to attend.
Well, you know, this is a good opportunity. It's a good gesture on Jim Boeheim's part. 4.5, 5 minutes to go, and he clears his bench and gets his other guys in. The problem is that he doesn't have a whole lot of people to put in the game. So he's going to have to play some good players here, and he does. He's got Lloyd and Archina and Howard in the game.
On the outside.
Archina with the 3.
Did he have that? Did you know he had that?
I knew he had a little range on him, yeah. But you know, I didn't know he had quite that kind of range where he just stops and pops. But he figures, hey, time for me. I'm not getting shots inside. I might as well take it out and knock it down. I feel very badly right now for Mike Martino. He's a discouraged young man because he hasn't got an open look all night long.
Millett in traffic, kicks it off. Bernard Wheeler in underneath, won't get it to go. Ball loose. Kicked around. Boy, it's really going to get sloppy now. Now Martino has it. And he's going to let that one go. And he got hit as he let it go, and he shoots up the air ball. And if you're Tim Cohane, you pull him out of here?
Well, I think maybe now you give him a little break and say, you know, you've had a great stretch here in the last week or so. So let's just take your time. This is one of those games. Forget it. Let's go to the next one.
All right, breaking the action with the timeout. We still have 3:34 to go. It's all Orangemen.
Playing for Syracuse University in the future, and they're from Buffalo. Damone Brown from Seneca High School, and Malik Campbell from Turner Carroll. Damone, what's it like to be sitting here watching the school you're going to play for next season?
It's exciting. It's very exciting. They look pretty good out here too.
But you figure you can fit in okay, right?
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you like about Syracuse, Damone? Why are you going there?
I like their coach. He's a good coach. It's close to home. My family can see me playing stuff.
Now, Malik Campbell, you're going to be a two-sport star at Syracuse, right? Basketball and football?
Yes.
What are you going to do for football? Quarterback?
Yeah, I'm playing quarterback.
How about, now you had gone to Maryland, it didn't work out, now you pick Syracuse. Why change your mind and go to Syracuse?
Because Syracuse is the place I wanted to go to in the first place, but they had Donovan Burnett, who was a freshman, and now he's a sophomore, so when I come in, I'll redshirt my first year, and he'll be a junior, and I just sit behind him 1 year instead of sitting behind him 3 years.
All right, he'll play football, and then when the football season's over, basketball. Guys, good luck. Thanks for joining me. Jim and Jim, back to you.
All right, Howard. A couple of guys who are going to advance their college careers.
First couple recruits that Syracuse has had from the Buffalo area in a long, long time, and you know, I know that they really like Damone Brown. They think that he's going to be an outstanding player. He's tall and he's skinny, but they really think that he's going to be a wonderful player down the road. And they also look at Malik Campbell as a possibility. Although Donovan McNabb was a wonderful basketball player in high school, it's real difficult to play football all year and then all of a sudden walk into a program like Syracuse and expect to play.
Well, Rusty LaRue, I think maybe might be the only guy who...
Charlie Ward, of course.
Yeah.
But not many, though.
And tapped up and in. And the Orangemen now leading at 71-35, and the route continues. Brandon Jones is checked into the lineup, number 14 for Buffalo, and also number 25, Kit Swindon. Wheeler still trying to get inside. This is Jones, now Swindon. On the skip pass, and had it rejected. And on the run, Syracuse.
Nice pass by Riggins on the inside. Wonderful pass right there, and Rock Lloyd knows what to do when he gets it on the inside. A big-time scorer out of New York City.
Well, we count down now to the 2-minute mark. This one's been well in hand ever since about the first 3 minutes of the second half. Nate Johnson can't get it to go. Ball controlled by the Orangemen, and again, Lloyd looking for penetrating move. Got it blocked. Whistle. Foul. And it's all Orangemen, and it'll be interesting to hear what Jim Boeheim has to say following this game in the comments. Howard will be talking to him.
Well, I got to think that Jim Boeheim's got to be very, very pleased. That's not Ramel Lloyd. That's Jim Boeheim over there. But I got to think that Boeheim's going to be very pleased with the effort that his team showed tonight defensively. I mean, he did hold a team to 35 points that's been successful. Went down to Miami, only lost by a few down at Miami. Was in the game with 5 minutes to go. We're down 4 points. So, I mean, this has got to be a good opportunity for Syracuse to get back on the winning way, and they've lost a couple in a row here, and it's been a little discouraging in the city of Syracuse, but good start for them.
Well, they're going on a stretch now where they play, what, 3 or 4 non-conference games.
Yep,
and they have them at the Carrier Dome.
Right, so, you know, their next 4 or 5, if you're right, they play in the Carrier Classic this weekend, and then they've got Vegas coming in, and they've got a couple other teams that they certainly be looking to handle.
Vegas will be interesting. We'll see what Billy Bano does with that team now.
Yeah, you know, when you're looking at some of the scores that Vegas have, they've been low-scoring games, so the people out in Vegas like to see the run and gun. They're not interested in this 55-43 stuff.
That's what ran Roley out of town.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, this is Vegas will never be the Vegas that they were before. I just don't think you could because of some of the things that happened in the, before out there. They're not going to be able to bring the same kind of players in, but still can be a successful program. Bill Bano, a very good young coach.
Was an assistant to John Calipari at UMass.
Yep.
Inside of 2 minutes, as time continues to wind down here, we'll have a conversation with Jim Boeheim. The lob would have converted if it wouldn't have hit the basket. Well, they set the back door up pretty well to Howard.
That's a play that they run with LaShawn Howard, and he is very effective. He's got great hands and great timing.
Well, the plays up against Wheeler.
Yep, the balloon burst for UB, but you can't take away the 3 great victories they did have, and they certainly aren't going to play teams like this when they go into the mid-continent.
No, they aren't. Stolen away by Jones after Alcas hit the jumper in the center of the lane. Double team, bounce pass down low. Johnson, left-hand shot, around and down.
Well, it's important. Every basket is important right now. There's 2-3 steals right in a row.
Jones steals and scores the 3.
Jim Boeheim not happy. But you know what? The final score, when you look in the paper and they say, well, we got 45 or 46. Well, a lot of teams, you know, only get that many against Syracuse. So I think that it's, you know, any kind of a little spurt they can make right here at the end is worth it.
And a stoppage of play. The foul will be on Johnson. 46 seconds remaining. 30 points, Syracuse advantage. And the bus has been running for some time for the Bulls.
Absolutely. UB was shooting 9 for 52 before that last little spurt there, so you know, that'll be probably the lowest shooting percentage they've ever had at the University of Buffalo. And conversely, probably Syracuse's best defensive effort for holding teams in it under 20% from the field.
Lloyd converts on both free throws.
But you can kind of tell that there's still a difference between these programs.
Oh.
And there will be.
Yes.
And that's nothing against
no.
Cohen and his team, and they know where they're at. But Syracuse has been a traditional power for a long, long time.
And Johnson's hammered from behind by Frazier.
And this doesn't happen overnight for the University of Buffalo. It's one thing to be competitive against other teams, but it's another thing to take a step up and be competitive against the team that was in the final 2 last year of the NCAA.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Yes, it is. But UB will be able to gain some things out of this, too, I think. They'll be able to look at the film and see where Syracuse played great defense to shut down so many of their offensive plays and really take Martino and Young right totally out of the game from the beginning. And that really made the difference in the whole game. And once Syracuse offense got rolling in the second half, then it was kind of lights out for UB at that point.
Well, you know, they went to that excruciating 2-3 zone, and that just took away everything.
Yeah, and Syracuse, I think, initially decided they were going to play man-to-man, but then when it came down to it, they felt, well, the zone working so well, might as well stay with the zone.
And the lock-on Vogel gets into the scorebook.
Well, it can't get over quick enough for Tim Cohane and his team right now. And
look at the big guy bring the ball up to Howard. And he explodes right to the basket and scores.
He's a good player.
He is a good player,
He
yes.
really is. He's going to be a very good player in the Big East once he gets a little experience.
Down to 5 seconds. Johnson, be the last shot of the game. No, he has it rejected. He got it back, and he gets fouled with 1.8 seconds remaining.
Well, that's kind of the way the game went for the big people on the inside. They either got it blocked or taken out of their hands, and Johnson got hurt right at the end here. Looks like he got smacked across his arm or whatever. He wants to certainly finish this thing out here.
Nobody in double figures in scoring for UB.
Well, when you only get 44 points, it's probably pretty hard. And but you would think that their 2 stars who've scored so well and done so well this year for them would knock it down, especially in garbage time. But Syracuse never allowed it to get to garbage time, at least defensively. They never did. They really stuck through and played as good as defense as I've ever seen Syracuse teams play on the road for any length of time. And that's one of the reasons why that young man right there, Jason Hart, really keyed it from the full court standpoint.
Ball knocked out of bounds, 1.8 seconds remaining. It'll be UB basketball.
I don't know if they've got a 30-point play in their arsenal, but they've got a 3-point play.
And Jones tried, but couldn't get it to go down for him.
That's the first buzzer beater 3 that's been missed by UB in 3 weeks.
79-45, the Orangemen roll the UB Bulls. And not, to be perfectly honest with you, totally unexpected. I think some people were hoping that it would have been a little closer than what it turned out to be. When we return, we'll be chatting with winning coach Jim Boeheim in just a little bit.
Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo, New York, the final Syracuse University defeating the University at Buffalo 79-45. The Orangemen up their record to 4-3, and the UB Bulls dropped to 3-3. Our M&T Bank player of the game is freshman guard Jason Hart from Syracuse. M&T Bank, all the bank you'll ever need. And we're joined courtside by Jason. Congratulations, first of all. Jason, you know, what do you guys think when you come into a matchup like this? You're favored, Big East, a bigger team, and yet you walk in here knowing that they want to pull the upset in front of the hometown fans.
Well, coming in the game, you know, everybody wants to beat us since we, you know, having a down season so far. So our mentality coming in the game was to come out here with a good victory and get back on track, you know, try to win some games.
Talk about your role now, being thrust in early on, obviously, and running this team, picking up a team that was national runners-up last season.
It's a big challenge for me. Each game I just try to lace them up each night and come out and play hard and just try to get our team some victories each night.
How much of a learning experience has it been, maybe specifically the game against Kentucky at the Alaska Shootout?
That was my first game. I got my feet wet. It went a little sour, but, I mean, each game I'm learning new things, and by the middle of the season, I think I'll be okay.
How about this game tonight? It seems that defensively, the offense wasn't there for you guys, but defense was there all night.
Well, we knew they had great three-point shooters, number 32, and our whole job was to try to eliminate the three-point shot, and we did that, and I think that's why we were successful tonight.
As you look ahead, of course, you got a couple of Big East games in already. The way you see things falling out in the Big East looks like, what, Villanova and then maybe everybody else?
Yeah, Villanova's a great team, and we down 0-2 in the Big East, and, you know, the players is not hanging their heads. We're all trying to bounce back and get some wins so we can be back on track in the Big East.
Yeah, how do you guys feel? I'm sure you're surprised as anybody with the losses to West Virginia and Miami to start your conference schedule.
It was sad those first 2 games, but we'll bounce back. We're a pretty good team, and we just got to believe in ourselves. We'll bounce back.
Jason, congratulations. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you much.
Jason Hart joining us from Syracuse, our M&T Bank player of the game. M&T Bank, all the bank you'll ever need. When we come back, we'll talk to Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim. The Orangemen win tonight here in Buffalo on the Empire Sports Network.
Tim Conway's One Empire has been sponsored by M&T Bank, all the bank you'll ever need. The Buffalo Renaissance Foundation. Nice. Use your Nice ATM card wherever you see the Nice sign. And by Perry's Ice Cream, a tradition of quality.
79-45, Syracuse beats the University at Buffalo here at Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo. We're joined courtside by the head coach of the Orangemen, Jim Boeheim. Coach, we were just talking about this young team. It can drive you nuts, and sometimes it probably makes you feel pretty good.
I had some hair before this season started. You know, we just made so many mistakes. Even tonight, our defense, we worked hard, and I'm proud of that. Our defense was good, but we just make so many mistakes on the offensive end, and even some our veterans are really making some of the mistakes, which is a real problem at this stage of the season. Your veterans have got to be solid. Then the freshmen, if they make their mistakes, you can overcome them. But in the last 2 conference games, our veterans made a lot of mistakes, and it cost us both games. And the thing that was good tonight, the effort was there, and Tom Thomas, who hasn't really gotten a lot of time, had a great first half for a freshman, and that's something that can be a positive. We've got in the next 5 non-conference games, we've got to get ourselves playing at a higher level to get back ready for the Big East. And right now, you know, it's a shame to come up here. This is such a beautiful building. This is one of the nicest buildings I've seen to play basketball in. And, you know, we just offensively didn't play well. And I'm sure Buffalo, you know, they feel they didn't shoot it well. We felt we did a pretty good job getting to their shooters, but, you know, they missed a lot of shots. And to beat us, they've got to make some threes from the outside. But I thought we covered them pretty well. Our defense was a good factor tonight. But offensively, we finally did a couple good things in the second half and got some good looks and made them. But we've got it's a young team and it's a young season. But I'm an old coach getting old real quick.
Even with the young team, Coach, were you surprised at the way the Big East Conference schedule began for your team?
Well, I thought we certainly could win. You know, you think you can win them all. West Virginia is a very underrated team. They surprised me. They're very good. At Miami, we had every chance to win the game. We were up 11. We were up 8. We were up 6 late. And, you know, we just made a couple bad plays. And Miami made some real big shots against us down the stretch. And yet we still had a chance to win on the road. And we've lost at Miami when we've gone to the Final Four. Last year we went to the Final Four and we lost at Miami. So it's not the end of the world. There's 16 more conference games. There's 5 more games. And, you know, we've just got to work hard and get ourselves back up there. And I think we can do that.
Well, listen, now that you've seen the arena, I know UB's going to your place for a couple of years. When can we see you back here again?
Well, we would like to come back here. There's a lot of Syracuse fans up here. We would like to come back and play up here against Buffalo or somebody if we can work it out, and hopefully we can, because it's a short trip for us. The fans in Buffalo have always supported us over the years. We're bringing a player from Buffalo next year, so we'd love to come back. We will be back here, I'm sure.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Coach Jim Boeheim joining us as Orangemen victorious over the University at Buffalo. Right now we'll send it back to the guys who called tonight's game, Jim Brinson and Jim Satlin.
All right, Howard, thank you very much. Total domination by the Orangemen over the Bulls, particularly in the second half of play. And it was interesting to hear what Jim Boeheim said. He really wasn't that happy, I think, maybe with the offensive production, but his defensive stance when they went to that 2-3 zone really shut down the offensive game of Buffalo.
Yeah, you know, but that's a perfectionist. I mean, he wants to have his team playing at a higher level. He knows they're going to have to play better than they did against UB in order to compete against the teams in the Big East. I thought the most telling thing that he said was that he'll be back in Buffalo, and they'll play another game in Buffalo. That's great news for the Marine Midland Arena and everybody in the Buffalo area and the Syracuse fans. So we'll try and set something up, bring a big-time team, and let them play up here against Duke or somebody.
Sounds good to me. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Final stats on the game, in which we just aired for you here on the Empire Sports Network. If you're a Bulls fan, it wasn't pretty.
Well, 19.4 is the killer, and they had to really go some to get to 19.4 at the end. And, you know, rebounding the ball, Syracuse comes up with a 10-point advantage there. Turnovers, neither team turned it over in the second half very well. So I think that, you know, UB looks at it and says, hey, if we had shot a little better, we'd be okay in this game. We wouldn't have won, but we could have made it a little bit more competitive. Syracuse says, you know, we shot okay, but we should even shoot better against a smaller team like that. So both teams got a lot of things to work on, and with this 2 for 22 stat on the three-point shot, that's a killer right there for any good basketball team.
And you know what, too? You and I talked about this. You look at the free throws. Look at that, 14 of 22, 19 of 30. That is horrible free throw shooting.
Yeah, especially for a team like UB that we talked about at the top. They have to do every little thing right, and they weren't able to do things like that. Shoot the three, shoot the foul shots, and they weren't able to do that. But you know what? It's still a learning experience for them. And as we mentioned before, they're not going to play teams like that in the Mid-Continent tournament in the league. So this is something they have to build on and just take the 3 games that they've just won and add this one and say, hey, before those 4 games, would you say if we won 3 out of 4, you'd be happy? They say, yeah, we'd be happy. So they won 3 out of 4, so now they just go on from there.
In fact, they even their record at 3-3. Syracuse now goes to 4-3, and Jim and I discussed this a little bit during the course of the second half, but we'll get a little more in-depth in it right now. The Orangemen have the opportunity to go back to the Carrier Dome and play in their own tournament.
Right, and they play in the tournament. Pretty good field with Pepperdine and Old Dominion in there, but
Odell Hodge, remember that name?
Ooh, okay, but Syracuse has never lost. They lost one game. Magic Johnson's team beat him when he was a freshman at Michigan State. That was a couple of years ago. So they've won a bunch of games in a row in that tournament, so you got to think they're going to do that again. So they'll get some confidence going into the Big East season, no question. They'll be a better team because of that.
Just remember, I told you.
Okay.
Odell Hodge.
What did you tell me?
Odell Hodge.
Oh, okay, Odell Hodge.
Dominion.
That's right, Odell Hodge. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jim Brinson, Jim Stadlin. It was our pleasure to call the game. Right now, let's send it back to Howard for the closing comments.
All right, once again, the final score, Syracuse putting on a defensive show beats the University at Buffalo 79-45. Our next Big Four telecast is on January 14th. It's New York City versus Buffalo as Manhattan takes on Canisius and St. John's plays Niagara. The action starts at 7 p.m. live on the Empire Sports Network. Tonight's game has been produced by David Tasca and directed by Dennis Galloway. Good night from Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo, New York.